Gonna get me one of them back braces.
How we going on?
I think he said we're on now.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, please, good night. Tomorrow when you wake up, tune into, hey, let's talk about it. And when you tune into Let's Talk About It, you will see us. So go to bed. Go to sleep. This is Chief OPGK and our co-host. Not my co-host alone, it's our co-host. My dear brother, Brother Joel
Hello.
Spears.
Hello, everybody.
So hello to all of you. We're coming to you from the New Harbor Studio in Oxon Hill, Maryland. We welcome you. And I would like you to know that I like to sing a little song.
Oh, my.
I'm not a good singer, but you understand some of the meaning. And here we go. Smiling faces show no traces of the evil that lurks within. Can you dig it?
Oh.
Smiling faces tell lies. And what was the rest of it?
I don't know. I was just a child back then.
All right, well, you get the picture. Smiling faces show no traces of the evil.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it? So in politics of today, there's a lot of smiling faces, teeth showing, clapping, grinning, looking like they're having a wonderful time. But you can't see the traces in them because they're lying. They're lying. We got so many things to talk about, and we really do like to begin by from a sad side of what we usually talk about, and that is school begins for some students in 1 to 2 weeks from now. And it is a pressure time for many of them. High school students, college students. It's a pressure time for family who have to now go out and buy school clothing, books, school bags, things that they need to go to school, hopefully for education. Joel?
Well, it's sad when you start looking at, I guess, the issue of teen suicide is what we're talking about. And it's a shock when you think someone is just beginning their life and have their whole life ahead of them, but yet there's something deep and dark inside that causes them to take their life. And then we have to sit back in many cases and say it's a shock. And how is this possible? Why would this person take such a dramatic, here we are as parents, why aren't they reaching out to us like they have in the past? Why take such a drastic, escape that you can never turn back from?
So frankly, what we're seeing, folks, just this morning, a neighbor came by to tell me about a grandson, 18 years old. Yesterday, shot and committed suicide. He killed himself. 1 week before school starts, 12th grade, and this young man took his own life. What in the world caused a young man of this to do that to himself? And I guess it's an issue that all you parents have to talk about. This is why we call this show, Hey, Let's Talk About It.
Children, in my opinion, are emotional because they're not burdened by all the responsibilities of adults. So the most important thing in their life is probably something that a lot of can't handle, which is emotions. That's all they concentrate on. And with this new generation, there's no time away from your friends. 24 hours a day, unless your parents are monitoring you. You're on your phone, you're being contacted, you're swiping and scrolling left.
Twitter,
It,
Twitter now.
yeah, I mean, I would imagine that if you're going through some kind of crisis and you're reaching out, unfortunately, in the wrong way, and it does not help you to resolve this buildup of frustration, that you can take dangerous things. What are the options? You can escape to drugs, you can escape to alcohol, you can run away, and then unfortunately some of them pick up a gun.
And kill themselves.
Yeah. So, it's always going to be something that you never really figure out. Why would somebody do that? There are so many options to come to, but we're also coming from the position of being an adult. And then as an adult, we sit back and we say, hey, I went through those things and I survived. Why can't you?
It's imperative this family, parents, step up to the plate. This is a risky time for these young men and women. This is a very difficult time for them. They get out of 11th grade or 12th or 10th grade, no jobs, and the parents don't have to work. So when parents are not working and cannot afford to buy whatever it is that the student needs, does that contribute to this kind of suicidal attempts or act?
I don't know. I think that suicide tends to be a mystery. I think we end up going, now what do we do today? Back in the old days, they probably left a message on the dresser or something like that. And, you sit back and go, wow, I had no idea. Now it can be anywhere in, cyberspace or whatever we call it now, where, you can probably talk to their friends, and you could probably now backtrack and say, oh, okay, well, these are the things that bother them. But that's too late.
It is so sad. The news that I heard this morning, I sincerely send my condolences to the family. Who was expecting them? He's 12th grade. In fact, I knew the young man. And that's the thing about the black community. We usually know, and I guess it happens in the white community. I can't speak for them. I don't know. All I know that that boy in Butler, New Jersey, was 20 years old, and he went the high road, took a shot at the presidential contender. He just, man, that's suicide by itself. So parents, please, we're not going to dwell too much on this because this is a very sad story. Look out. Your children need you, your sons, your daughters. They're going through some emotional things. Please, stay in touch with them. Joel?
I remember, and I hope I get this right, I remember once reading where it said, it's not the person that reaches out for help that we have to worry about. It's the one who is pretending to be okay. And that's...
You never know if he's okay or not.
Right, and that's the sad thing. I once heard a story of a person who picked up a block and said, this represents our life. And your parents see one side of the block because of their position as your parents.
They don't see the rest of it.
Right, and your friends see another side, and maybe other people in your life see different angles of who you are. And unfortunately, in these sad situations, those people are never in the same room until the tragedy has...
Get to know your kids.
Yeah.
Get to know your grandkids. Keep in touch with them. Not black people, and a lot of people may say I say too much about black people, but I mean, this is the area that we have a lot of problems. When you have a whole community, not a whole community, but a substantial number of the people in the community just are not capable or not able to afford to take care of their children, let's keep an eye on them, folks. We're advising you. We're giving you from two very reasonably minded old folks, individuals.
Old?
Oh.
No.
So keep an eye on your kids, please. Do that for us. Do that for them. Do that for the community. I mean, just talk. Open the line of communication. Because you never know the other side of an individual. As our co-host just explained, you got to stay in touch with him. You know, it may be annoying to him sometimes. So what? Keep talking to him before it's too late. God bless you. God bless that young man. God, I can't believe it. Can't wrap my head around it. 18 years old. Just sad. Sad for the family. Sad for the community. Well, may he rest in peace.
Amen.
All right. I'm a veteran. Joel, our co-host, is not a veteran.
I'm a taxpayer.
He's a taxpayer. Get it straight now. He's a taxpayer. So as a taxpayer, he pays for all the things that goes on in the United States. But
A few of us do.
there is now a conflict between Tim Walz, Kamala Harris is vice president, and J.D. Vance, Donald Trump's vice president. Both are military personnel. They are both soldiers, and they're fighting each other as to who did what in the military. Well, I'm a veteran. Those of us who know what it means to be in combat, those of us who know, knows. Those of us who received Purple Heart knows what we had to go through to get it. It wasn't sought, it wasn't looked at, we didn't try to get it. But if you're in a combat situation, an actual war, these kinds of things happen. You get wounded, but every soldier have an assignment of different kind. Every military personnel. Now the words of war between these two vice presidential candidates, some people may say, oh, it's deplorable. Some people have said, it's just unnecessary. Well, to some extent it is not. Some will say, I did one thing more than you. Or the other would say, well, I'm in the Air Force or the Navy, I did more. You know, I always say to the Marines, there's something wrong with it. But listen to what, what's his name again? Tim Walz had to say about his combat experience. Listen to this. Well, you hear him. You know, he went to war. Everybody wants to know, what war did he go into? And where he said he carried the weapons. Okay. Vance has a different story. We can get them on the air and see and hear what he had to say. Because there's questions about Tim Walz's involvement in war and the weapons that he allegedly carried. Mm-hmm. He's a gunman, you know. He goes hunting. Oh. He kills animals, folks. Those of you who love animals. Your cat, your dog, your dares, your bears, everything that you have. Tim Walz will kill him. That's it. That's what he said. I didn't say it. You know, he's a hunter in Minnesota.
Is that like Hunter Biden? Or different?
But Biden didn't do all that.
Hunter Biden. Yes.
Oh, Hunter Biden. Oh, yeah, he hunted.
You into cocaine?
Your co-host is something wrong with that. You need to really,
I don't know. I just connect.
hunters. So Tim is a hunter. Biden's son is a hunter. I think Biden's son was hunting for money.
Yeah, I think he left some cocaine in the White House.
Oh, he left some cocaine. Well, he forgot to go get that back. And he carries the weapons too. But just seemed like these guys would like to be the ones that carry the weapons and hunt with him, but he doesn't want anybody, they don't want anybody else to have them. So much support for the Second Amendment. I don't know, it just doesn't seem right. But Tim Walz just seemed that there is some kind of question about what is known as the stolen valor. Well,
One pivot, if I may,
Sure.
the campaign trail. Today, Senator J.D. Vance has accused Governor Walz of stolen valor. I mean, obviously, military service is something that's very deeply personal to the president, given the service of his son. I'm curious, I mean, how is he reacting to these statements?
So look, any specific attacks or comments, I would have to refer you to the campaign. I think when I was answering your colleague Joey's question about Governor Walz, I laid out, and you all have seen his bio, right? This is someone who enlisted at 17 years old to serve his country. He was part of the Army National Guard for 24 years. This is someone who was a high school teacher, right? A high school coach as well, who grew up in a small town in the Midwest. And so I think his bio speaks for itself. Who he is speaks for himself. His record speaks for itself. And I'm just not going to say anything beyond that.
This game want to ask about your accusation. I just want to ask about your accusations this morning about
stop
Walz,
here, yeah.
about the abandoning his fellow soldiers.
Yeah.
Are you basing that on anything more than a Facebook post? And how do you feel about? I mean, these are, as you know, serious accusations.
Sure.
As well, like, I mean, your running mate has faced similar accusations about avoiding service because of bone spurs. Do you think that is accurate and fair to for Trump to face?
Well, look, the difference, Mike, between what President Trump has said and done and what Walz has said and done is that President Trump didn't lie, right? President Trump did not serve in the United States military. He's never claimed that he did. Walz did say on camera that I carried a gun in a war. Well, which war did you carry a gun in? Because you apparently never went to a war zone. That is a totally reasonable question to ask. And I think the evidence at this point is overwhelming that he lied about serving in a combat zone. By the way, I served in a combat zone. I answered the call. I've never lied about my military service. He clearly has. There was another quote I actually just saw a couple of hours ago where he apparently said that he fought in Iraq, or at least a journalist reported that he said he fought in Iraq. Well, if he said that, that is a lie. And we have to be willing to call people out. Lying about your military service in order to procure political points, that's really disgraceful conduct. It's a slap in the face to millions of American veterans, and I think it's totally reasonable to call them out on it.
You fought in Iraq?
I served in a combat zone. I never said that I saw a firefight myself, but I've always told the truth about my Marine Corps service. That's the difference
I
between
just
me
want
and
to make
Tim
sure
Walz.